Welcome to our 5 on 5. We're pleased to welcome back Republican State Representative Sal Esquivel. Sal, good to see you.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for being here. So we're back in legislative session in about a month's time. Is that right?
February 1st.
So what are you looking at for 2016 in Oregon politics?
Well, 2016 is to be a short session, so we're not going to probably do a lot of extensive, long, drawn-out things because we're only going to be in the building for 30, 35 days. So we shouldn't be doing any large policy issues during that time because of the short session itself, and we weren't supposed to. The only thing we were supposed to have done, the way it was sold to the people, was we were supposed to be there just for budgetary process, but it doesn't turn out that way. I think last time we were in there 34 days or something like that, and we saw the budget one day. So
hopefully,
it just leads to some mischief, so I'd just as soon as not even have that session, but the people voted for it, so we'll go.
Minimum wage is going to be a big thing in Oregon in 2016. I know we going to have something on the ballot, I believe. And is that something that you guys are going to be discussing in your session, or are you going to wait and see what happens?
No, I think we'll probably discuss it during this short session. I think that'll be on the table, and the party in charge, the Democrats, want to bring that forward. So we'll probably come to grips with that when we get up there, see what the input is from people.
And what about PERS? That's something that a lot of organizations are dealing with right now.
That's going to be a hard pill to swallow. We've known about this for quite some time, and so consequently, we can have up to $1 billion hole in the budget because of that. So there's been some estimates that it'll exceed $1 billion, and I hope that that's wrong. So.
Nobody wants to see that.
Nobody wants to see that.
Okay. All right.
Well, and couple with that, and I can see a storm on the horizon, because if you have the $1 billion hole there, and then you have maybe $1 billion hole from $600 million to $1 billion hole from the feds on Obamacare, we've started out on a bad foot.
One of the things you and I were talking before we began this interview about Republican and Democrats and how the bipartisanship is going right now in the state. Obviously, Democrats are dominating the House and the Senate, and as well as the governor's office, of course. But it sounds like you feel that the Democrats in the House versus the Democrats in the Senate is more the issue. Is that
well,
true?
Yeah, we have really, if you think about it, we don't have much of a say on anything except taxation. And so as smooth as that thing runs, or as rough as it runs, it's entirely up to the Democrats because they're running the show. So they have the numbers and they run the show. So if there's a problem with the way it runs rough-wise, I mean, you can't say we're obstructionists because we have no power to obstruct anything. So that's not the issue to me. The issue to me is that they need to get on the same page and march in accordance.
Okay, very good. We're going to take a quick break. Much more in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with the Oregon State Representative Sal Esquivel. Sal, one of the new laws kicking in 2016 is the motor voter law that Kate Brown was behind from the beginning. You're not a big fan of that.
No, I'm not. In fact, I voted against it, and I'll tell you why. Freedom to me is you have a choice, and we've always had the choice. And if people want to vote, all they have to do is go down and they can even do it online. I mean, it can't be any more simpler. So they elect not to vote, so now we're going to make them a voter, and we're going to end up, and they have to, of course, a certain period of time opt out. And they also have a certain period of time to figure out what party they'd like to be in. Well, if they don't care about that, what's going to happen is we're going to have a bunch of people on the voter records, the rolls, and they're going to be sent out a voter's pamphlet. And chances are they probably won't vote in the first place because they didn't take the initiative to do it originally. So I think the motor voter thing is contrary to freedom, because if I want to opt out of something, why do I have to opt out of something? That's like, we've had those with cell phones. Remember when there's a little part in the contract where it continued to go unless you opt out? Well, no, you shouldn't have to do that. It should expire, and that's it. You have an opportunity to say yes or no, and that's what freedom's about. And if you want to take the time to do it and to vote, then you should be able to do so. But if you don't want to, that should also be. And you shouldn't have to fill out paperwork in order to do so.
Speaking of voting, last July you said Oregon, my Oregon, the hits just keep on coming. I fear the state I've loved for so long is disintegrating before my very eyes. your vote counts, elections matter. What prompted that?
Well, there's a lot of things going on. You know, we've had right now we're going to have in front of us a ballot measure that's going to raise the taxes on corporations, and everybody goes, oh, those bad corporations. Well, but it's going to affect people like your organization, like your food source, and what it is, it's a 2.5% increase of your taxes on gross sales. It doesn't matter if you make money. It's just your gross sales. Again, we're getting back to that 66, 67, which was the problem before, and we continue on this basis now. This is for only Oregon corporations, too. So in other words, we're penalizing our people in the state of Oregon, and I don't understand why we'd want to do that. And if you think about this, a grocery store, a chain, is my understanding they make about 2.75% profit. Well, if we're going to attack them with 2.5%, that pretty well cuts down their margins. So they're going to have to raise the price, and that's just on the grocery store itself. The people that transport it will also be susceptible to that 2.5%. The people that manufacture it in Oregon will also be the same thing. So you could have an increase of 7.5% just on your groceries alone. So I don't think it's I mean, you know, you can say the corporation is going to do it, but they aren't going to do it. The consumer is going to be the one to pay for it. That's who will pay for it.
Sal, good to see you.
Take care.
Happy New Year.
And as for the voting part, get out and vote.
There you go. Stay with us. We'll be right back.